Have you ever woken up, looked around, and wondered, is this what my days are going to look like now? The calendar is wide open, the alarm clock's quiet, and for a moment, it feels like freedom, but also like something might be missing. It's funny how we spend decades dreaming of retirement, picturing peace and ease, but when we finally get here, no one really talks about how different it feels. Slower, quieter, and sometimes, if we're honest, a little bit lonely. But here's the beautiful truth. Retirement isn't the end of the road. It's the beginning of a new chapter, one that's entirely yours to shape. And even the smallest daily habits can turn your ordinary days into something joyful, meaningful, and yes, healthier. So, let's talk about something important. How do you create a life that doesn't just drift by, but one that energizes you, keeps your mind sharp, and brings a little spark back into every morning? Today, we're diving into 7 simple daily rituals that can truly transform how you feel in this next phase of life. These aren't complicated, and they don't require expensive gym memberships or strict schedules. They're gentle, enjoyable habits you can build into your day, starting today. Let's begin right at the start of your day, because how you begin your morning can quietly shape how the rest of it unfolds. One of the most powerful things you can do when you wake up, before checking the news, before reaching for your phone, is to simply take a few deep breaths and stretch. Not a workout, just a stretch. Slowly, gently. Reach your arms overhead. Roll your shoulders. Maybe twist side to side a little. It's not just about loosening your body. It's about waking it up. You're telling your joints, hey, we've got another day, let's make the most of it. You'd be surprised how just 5 minutes of light stretching can lift your mood, improve circulation, and help ease that stiffness that tends to settle in overnight. But here's the secret. Pair that stretch with a little gratitude. While you're breathing in and stretching out, think of one thing you're thankful for. Just one. It could be as simple as the sunlight coming through the window or the cup of coffee waiting in the kitchen. This small ritual, movement paired with gratitude, is like a gentle switch that turns your brain from sleep mode into joyful alertness. And it doesn't cost a thing. Now, once you're up and moving, there's something else that works wonders, spending a few minutes outside in the morning light. Maybe you water your plants, sit on the porch, or walk around the block. The goal isn't to exercise, though that's great too. It's simply to expose your body to natural light. You see, our bodies are like clocks, and sunlight is the key that resets them every morning. That little burst of daylight can boost your energy, improve your sleep later on, and even help with mood. In fact, studies show that just 10 to 15 minutes of sunlight early in the day helps regulate your body's natural rhythms and even encourages the brain to produce more serotonin, the feel-good hormone. And let's be real, there's something special about listening to the birds or feeling the breeze on your face. It's calming, grounding. Now, as the day starts rolling, here's a habit that may surprise you: having a purposeful breakfast. Not just any breakfast, not just a rushed slice of toast or leftover pastry, but something you sit down for, something nourishing and ideally shared. If you live with a partner, breakfast can be the one time in the day where you actually sit together, look each other in the eye, and talk. Not about big things, just life. The news, what you dreamt last night, the silly things that make you laugh. And if you live alone, make breakfast your time. Play a little music, read a few pages of a book, sit by the window. Make it a ritual that feels like a gentle gift to yourself, rather than something you rush through. It's during this quiet time that you can also introduce a second little ritual: mental stretching. Just like the body needs to move, the brain loves a gentle challenge. Maybe you do the crossword, or a Sudoku. Maybe you learn a new word or write in a journal. It doesn't have to be much, just something to keep the wheels turning. You're not in school anymore, but your brain still thrives on curiosity and stimulation. The more you feed it, the sharper it stays, and the more engaged you'll feel with the world around you. There's something powerful about these small acts. Stretching your body, breathing in the morning air, eating with intention. They might seem too simple to matter, but they're not. These are the quiet moments that anchor your day. They tell your body and mind, you matter. This day matters. Let's make the most of it. And speaking of days that matter, it's important to keep in mind that rituals aren't just about structure. They're about meaning. It's not about filling time, it's about filling time with the things that bring you joy, peace, and purpose. So maybe your next ritual happens mid-morning when the house is quiet and you have space to create or connect. Because once your body is moving and your mind is awake, it's the perfect time to focus on another daily habit that brings long-term health and happiness. Because once your body is moving and your mind is awake, it's the perfect time to focus on another daily habit that brings long-term health and happiness: staying socially connected. Now, I know this one can feel tricky, especially when your schedule is suddenly wide open but your circle feels a little smaller than it used to. Friends move, family members get busy, and before you know it, entire weeks can slip by without a real conversation. But connection doesn't always have to mean a big outing or a long phone call. Sometimes it's just reaching out to someone with a quick message, thinking of you, or sharing a laugh over something silly. Maybe it's chatting with your neighbor while you're watering the plants or saying hello to the cashier at the grocery store. These little interactions, they matter more than we realize. They remind us we're not alone, that we're part of something bigger. And if you can build in one small act of connection every day, it could be something as simple as calling a friend you haven't spoken to in a while, or joining a local class, group, or even an online community. Some folks find joy in volunteering just a few hours a week, helping at the library, greeting people at a community center, or mentoring someone younger. You'd be amazed how much brighter the day feels when you've made someone else smile. And let's be honest, we need each other. Not just for companionship, but for the joy that comes from being seen, heard, and valued. This brings us to another gentle but powerful ritual: movement. And I'm not talking about intense exercise or anything that leaves you sore for days. I mean joyful movement. The kind that feels like play. Maybe you dance around the living room to your favorite oldies. Maybe you walk to your favorite park. Maybe you do a few yoga poses or tai chi in the garden. It doesn't have to be long or fancy. What matters is that it feels good. Our bodies were made to move no matter what age. And moving a little every day keeps your muscles stronger, your balance steadier, and your heart healthier. It's one of the best things you can do for your brain too. Every step, every stretch, it's like telling your body, I'm still here. I'm still going. And I'm not done yet. One thing I've seen bring a spark into so many people's lives is dancing. Not on a stage, not for an audience, just in your own home. Put on a song from your younger days, the one that makes your feet tap without you realizing it. Let yourself move, even if it's just a sway. There's something about music that pulls us back to the parts of ourselves we might have forgotten. The joyful, silly, youthful parts. Let them come out to play once in a while. Now, once you've had a bit of movement and maybe a good chat or two, there's a different kind of nourishment that becomes more important than ever: mental and emotional rest. And this is where the next ritual comes in. Find time each day, just 10 or 15 minutes, to truly unplug. No screens. No distractions. Just you, your breath, and stillness. You could sit quietly and listen to the sounds around you. Or close your eyes and breathe deeply, letting your thoughts come and go like waves. Some people like to pray. Others meditate. Some just sit by the window and watch the world move outside. This quiet time isn't about doing nothing. It's about giving your mind a break, a reset. So many of us carry worry, regret, or stress even in retirement. But you don't have to. This time of life can be about peace, about release. And making space for calm in your day is like giving your spirit room to breathe again. If you want to make it even more meaningful, keep a little journal nearby. You don't have to write a novel, just a few lines each day. Maybe how you're feeling, what made you smile, something you're looking forward to. Writing things down has this magical way of helping us process emotions and feel more grounded. One woman I spoke to, she's in her 70s, told me her favorite part of the day is when she sits outside with a cup of tea and writes a few lines in a notebook she calls her peace book. Sometimes it's a memory, sometimes it's a prayer, and sometimes it's just, today was a good day. That small practice has become her anchor, and yours can be too. The thing is, these rituals aren't about filling every minute. They're about creating a rhythm, a gentle flow to your days that brings comfort, purpose, and joy. And when your days start to feel more meaningful, your whole life begins to feel lighter, fuller. Because here's what we often forget. We still have the power to shape our lives. Even after retirement. Especially after retirement. This is your time now. Not to hustle, not to rush, but to live. To enjoy. To connect with who you are, and maybe even discover new parts of yourself you didn't know were waiting. And as your day continues, there's one more habit that can have a quiet, beautiful impact. Something you may already do, but maybe haven't thought of as a ritual. It's the simple act of creating. Of using your hands, your voice, your imagination to bring something into the world that didn't exist before. That simple act of creating, of using your hands, your voice, your imagination to bring something into the world that didn't exist before, it's one of the most quietly powerful things you can do each day. You don't have to be a painter or a poet or a master gardener. It could be baking a loaf of bread, writing a short note to your grandchild, knitting a few rows of a scarf, or even rearranging the plants in your windowsill. It's about letting your inner self express something, anything, a little beauty, a little thought, a little care. Creativity isn't reserved for artists. It lives in all of us. And when we give ourselves permission to play, to try, to mess up and laugh and try again, we come alive in a different way. You start remembering that joy doesn't always come from grand achievements. Sometimes, it comes from watching a tiny seed you planted begin to sprout. Or hearing your own voice hum along to a tune you haven't heard in years. Or sitting with a pencil and sketching whatever comes to mind just because it feels good. And there's something else this daily creating ritual gives you: presence. It brings you into the moment, away from the past and the future, and settles you right into the now. Which, let's be honest, is a gift. Especially when the world sometimes moves too fast, and memories can sometimes feel like they weigh more than they used to. One man told me he spends 15 minutes each afternoon carving tiny birds from scrap wood. He's not a sculptor. He says half of them come out looking like squirrels. But he grins like a kid when he shows them to me, and you can see it. It's not about the birds. It's about what he feels while making them. The peace, the satisfaction, the sense that he still has something to offer. And isn't that what we all want? To feel that we matter, that we're still growing, still contributing, still discovering new joys even in familiar days. Now, after you've moved your body, tended your soul, created something from the heart, there's one final ritual I want to share with you. One that, while quiet, may be the most powerful of them all. It's the daily practice of gratitude. Now, I know, gratitude gets tossed around a lot these days. But I'm not talking about pretending everything's perfect or putting on a happy face. I'm talking about pausing, just for a moment each day, to notice what's still good, what's still working, what still warms your heart. It might be the way the sunlight hits your living room in the morning, or the smell of your coffee, or a text from your granddaughter, or the fact that you can still go for a walk, still breathe deeply, still laugh at an old joke. Gratitude doesn't erase the hard stuff, just helps balance it. And when you build a habit of noticing the good, your days start to feel a little less heavy. Your shoulders relax. Your heart softens. You begin to see that life, even with its aches and losses, still has so much to offer. Try this. Each evening before bed, think of 3 things from your day that made you feel even the tiniest bit better. Say them out loud, or write them down. They don't have to be big. In fact, the smaller the better. Over time, this little ritual rewires your brain to focus on joy rather than worry, hope rather than regret. And here's a beautiful thing, it's never too late to start. You could be 85 and begin this practice tonight, and it would still change the way tomorrow feels. Because gratitude has a way of opening doors. Not just to the world around you, but to peace within yourself. I once spoke to a woman who just turned 79. She told me she used to feel like her best days were behind her. That retirement was just a long, slow goodbye. But then she started keeping a little joy list. Every evening she'd write one sentence: "Today I saw a hummingbird." Or, "Today I made myself laugh." Or even, "Today I cried, but then I felt lighter." That list, she said, reminded her that she was still very much alive. And isn't that what this is really about? Choosing to live fully, not just exist. Choosing to wake up each day and say, "I'm here. I've still got time. Let's make it count." You see, the beauty of these rituals isn't in how perfectly you do them. It's in how consistently you invite them into your life. One small step at a time. And over weeks and months, those steps begin to shape your days, your health, and your happiness. You don't need to overhaul your whole life overnight. Just begin. With a stretch in the morning, a smile at a neighbor, a walk in the park, a quiet moment of reflection. These are the moments that stack up, not just to make a good day but to build a meaningful life. And I want you to hear this clearly: you are not too old. You are not too late. There is still joy for you to find. Still laughter for you to share. Still people who need your light. And it all starts with how you choose to live today. So as you move through your days, think about these small rituals. Let them become your rhythm, your gentle compass. And watch how they carry you, not just through retirement, but through this rich, vibrant chapter of your life with strength, warmth, and joy. Because life doesn't end at 60. In many ways, it's just beginning. Because life doesn't end at 60. In many ways, it's just beginning. And that beginning can be soft or bold, quiet or full of color. It's yours to shape. You've already done the hard work. You've built careers, raised families, met challenges you never saw coming. This next chapter? It's your chance to live not for obligation, but for joy. And joy is a curious thing. It doesn't always come loudly. Sometimes, it whispers to you in the most unexpected ways. Like through the gentle ritual of staying connected. Not just to the people around you, but to the people who really matter. To your circle, your friends, your loved ones. even those you may have drifted from over the years. You'd be surprised what a simple phone call can do, or a handwritten card, or inviting someone over for tea just because you thought of them. Human beings are built for connection, and that doesn't change with age. In fact, it becomes more important, more meaningful, and yes, more healing. I've met folks who, after years of being too busy, finally took the time to reconnect with an old friend, and they said it felt like breathing again, like they'd rediscovered a part of themselves. Because every deep connection we make in life holds a memory, a reflection of who we've been and who we're becoming. And yet, it's not always easy, is it? Sometimes loneliness sneaks in even when we're surrounded by people. That's why this ritual, reaching out even just once a day, is so powerful. It reminds us that we belong. That someone out there still wants to hear our voice or share a laugh, or simply sit in comfortable silence together. You don't have to host big dinners or plan elaborate outings. Start small. Send a message. Smile at someone during your morning walk. Compliment the cashier. Be the one who initiates the connection, because chances are, someone else is waiting for it too. There's a man I know, George. He's in his early 80s, lives alone, and every Tuesday morning he writes postcards. Just 3 or 4 to people he hasn't seen in a while, an old neighbor, a niece, a church friend. They aren't long, just a sentence or two. But he says it's his way of keeping his heart open. And every week he gets at least one reply. They keep me going, he told me once. Each one is like a little light that says, you're still remembered. Don't underestimate how much a small act of connection can lift someone else's day. And while you're lifting theirs, you're lifting your own. But connection isn't only about others. One of the most overlooked, yet life-changing daily rituals is also the most personal, spending time with yourself. Real time. Quiet time. Not with the TV humming in the background, not while scrolling through a screen, but a few minutes each day where you're truly with yourself. Maybe it's with a warm cup of tea on the porch as the sun rises, or journaling your thoughts at night. Maybe it's sitting by the window watching the birds and just being. This isn't wasted time, it's sacred. It's a moment where your mind can slow down, where your breath becomes steady, where you remember who you are beyond your roles and responsibilities. So many of us were raised to always be doing. Always helping, fixing, organizing, working. But retirement isn't a void, it's a gift. A chance to return to yourself. To ask, what do I need today? And actually listen for the answer. You might find that these quiet moments reveal surprising things. A dream you'd forgotten. A desire to learn something new. Or even just the deep contentment of sitting with your own thoughts and realizing you're enough, just as you are. One woman I spoke with, Linda, started a daily pause after turning 70. She lights a candle each morning and sits quietly for 10 minutes. No phone, no distractions. Just her breath and whatever thoughts come and go. At first I felt silly, she said. But now I look forward to it more than my coffee. It centers me. It's my reminder that I'm not rushing toward anything anymore. I'm exactly where I need to be. It doesn't have to be spiritual or structured. Just consistent. A simple moment in the day where you return to yourself. Where you check in with your heart. Ask how you're really feeling. Offer yourself the same kindness you'd offer a friend. And if you take nothing else from all of this, let it be this. Your time is still yours to shape. It doesn't matter how old you are, how many birthdays have passed, or what others say you should be doing. This is your life. These are your days. And these daily rituals? They're like gentle stepping stones to a life that feels richer, deeper, more grounded in what matters. A stretch in the morning. A walk under the open sky. A small act of creativity. A whispered thank you at night. A phone call. A moment alone. These aren't just tasks, they're invitations. To connect. To breathe. To live. And when you begin to string these moments together, day after day, you'll start to notice something beautiful happening. Not all at once. Not like a lightning bolt. But slowly. Softly. Like spring creeping back into the trees after a long winter. You'll feel it in your energy. In your sleep. In your conversations. In how you carry yourself. And how you look forward to each new morning. Because happiness after retirement doesn't come from one big thing. It comes from dozens of small things, done regularly with intention and heart. And the best part? You don't have to get it perfect. You just have to begin.